recommended on their YouTube channel just says, "My Lord of the Rings Flipbook, 500 hours!" exclamation point.
Yeah. Well, so, I think I think that one might have been the person who spent 500 hours drawing their scene.
Yeah.
Because they had to draw like 500, Flipbook pages, right? Sitting there at the little light box tracing all the frames. But yeah, that's some good shit.
That's good stuff.
And we'll see if they continue on to, but I always like this kind of project because it's rare that people actually do this. And when they do, it's like you need like such big organizing to actually succeed and complete, and the leadership and the follow through.
It's all about process and pipeline. Like, look at Wikipedia as a very different kind of example. Wikipedia is not the data in it. It is not the website, like the wiki technology. Wikipedia is the community of people who are organized to make Wikipedia happen.
Wikipedia is ad hoc, right? So it is a community built massive thing, but it's ad hoc. People come in here and they come in there, a little bit here, a little bit there. This is okay, people. You got scene 1. All right, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, and you had to everyone. It's like, all right, I'm gonna need. That's completely different organizationally, even though it's still a crowdsource.
Well, I think the main organizational difference is partly are you making something that is a Blues Brothers car, or are you making something that's an Ava that's going to walk off into the distance forever?
Yeah.
In the meta moment, the GeekNights Book Club book, I Who Have Never Known Men. Whenever we do a Thursday episode next, I don't know if it'll be this week because I got a lot going on. We're going to do the episode soon. I
guess that means you read it?
Of course I read it. It's a real good book. And it revealed the amount of information I predicted it would reveal from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the correct choice by the author.
But
revealing
that's not the important part, though.
But there's a lot of important parts. There's a lot going on in this, and
every part is important.
I think that if I had to distill what I am going to talk about when we do the episode on this book, I'm going to be talking about the concept of first principles. And if you don't know what I mean by that, well, you're going to be in for a ride, because that's one of the most important concepts for sentience. There's a lot to unpack in this book. And also, fuck the Road. You want to read an early post-apocalyptic story?
I never read The Road, but I have heard about it.
Yeah, the thing is, I haven't read The Road, but I've read excerpts from it, and most of the people I know have read it. It has some good aspects and some very problematic aspects. I Have Never Known Men is just intellectually stimulating in a direct way, and there is nothing problematic about it except in the sense that the subject matter it is discussing.
Well, there's things that are problematic for men.
What do I know? I've never known men.
For? Who is the truth a problem for?
Yep. But it's a hell of a book, and we'll be talking about it, and you should read it. It's not long, and once you start reading it, you'll probably finish it in like one session. It just kind of pulls you along.
If you can, it's not long in word count.
It is long in terms of thoughts you may have about it.
Depending on who you are, getting through it might be emotionally difficult.
Yep, it's a real one. So whenever we do our next Thursday episode, we'll be talking about that. Otherwise,
but hey,
yeah, we're gonna be live at MagFest. Huh?
I heard about that book originally from like third hand from it getting hyped on TikTok. So listen, if the TikTok kids are reading that book, it's not all bad.
Yeah, I mean, science fiction, dystopian science fiction. I feel like similarly, the kids who watch RoboCop are going to be like, how was that movie made in the 90s or 80s, actually? How did they know what the future would be like? All the dystopian science fiction was right. At least all the good dystopian science fiction. Anyway, we will be live at MagFest with a bunch of talks that we'll publish the schedule soon. What I will say is that in addition to the Rim and Scott talks, there's also going to be a follow-up to the Rim and Emily talk on metacontextualism that I'm really excited about. You can assume we're also going to be live at PAX East next year. I unfortunately am going to have to skip ZenkaiCon this year because it's right before PAX East, and for a lot of reasons, my life is getting increasingly dense with activities that prevent me from committing to doing a ton of cons, in addition to keeping me to a strict Geek Night schedule.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna be with PAX East this year. It'll be interesting.
Yep.
We'll see.
The one thing I'm going to commit to again at this PAX East, because it's 4 days and we're only going to do, I assume, 1 or 2 talks. I don't think I'm going to enforce. I think that ship sailed for me in terms of
Unless I can get a new task.
join me in main theater. It's actually really fun to do
not
main
that
theater.
kind of new task.
Main theater enforcing is the most fun I have. The thing I would want to do at a PAX would be to run the Sweaty Gaming Lodge. Like, I think about that idea semi-daily.
It's a little late to do that this year.
It is.
We need to really prepare a lot.
Yeah. I would love to run a sweaty tournament because I'm not saying that. I want to be clear. I'm not saying the enforcers at PAX run bad tournaments. They run great tournaments. Like, that is not what I'm on about here. But I have found most of the tournaments at PAX, especially in tabletop, are primarily attended by people who haven't actually played the game, or even if they have, aren't particularly good at it. They're there to play the game, and that's fine. I want tournaments where they announce in advance, like, Tigris and Euphrates is the Saturday night tournament, and everyone who shows up at least thinks they're very good at Tigris and Euphrates. I want to sit down with a table.
Or is ready to be absolutely demolished.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I want to go to a tournament where either I am going to play against people who are the best, like they're gonna fuck me up, or I'm about to prove that I am in fact top tier. I want to find out: am I platinum tier or am I a scrub? I want to get my shit wrecked.
The only way to really get that these days is to play a very popular lifestyle kind of game.
That's why I still play Overwatch. I'm gold. I'm pretty good, and yeah, I get my shit.
Yeah, but you're not like going to Overwatch tournaments and shit.
No, I want to. I want to make more time for that, actually. But I play with some regulars, and I only play in the competitive ladder, and I seriously try to get better. And you know what that means?
I played like Netrunner regionals and stuff, right? I was, and there's no. It's not, it's completely different once you're actually in a competitive scene where there's prizes or any kind of actual organized play.
I just want to play against people who are going to wreck my shit.
Yeah.
But PAX tournaments are not like that.
No.
And I think there's a place for them, and I think there are people who want that. But that is not most people.
I don't know how many, though.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's get right into it because Overwatch aside, I, with Emily, have played enough Dispatch, which is getting a lot of chatter for a lot of reasons, and now I see why. Now that I've played it.
It's strange to me that in 2025, there's a game called Dispatch, and it's such a basic word. There wasn't another game already called Dispatch somewhere. It's like, it's like finding like a word.com and it's just not used.
Right? And then we talk about Metroid Prime 4, which I have not touched yet. That's how busy I am.
Did you play Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3?
No.
No. Well, then why would you play Metroid Prime 4?
Because it's the one on the Switch too. I'll just play around and start with that one.
All right. Well, it doesn't really matter.
No, it definitely doesn't matter. I like Metroid games, but I have not prioritized Metroid over the many other things that I've played. In a long time, at least. So we'll start with Metroid then. Why should I play it? What's going on?
If you like Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, right, which are basically all kind of the same game mostly, with just slight variations to them and different maps, different enemies, different equipment, right? Metroid Prime 3 came out in 2007, and so that's...
oh my God, that was a long time ago.
That was 18 years ago?
Yeah.
And so we
had already been doing GeekNights for 2 years by that point.
Yeah. So Metroid Prime 1, right, came out in 2002. So in 5 years, here you go. So 2002, 2004, 2007. So they came out with Metroid Prime. 2 years later, another Metroid Prime. 3 years later, another Metroid Prime. So 2-year gap, 3-year gap, 5 years total, 3 games.
Yep.
And then the 4th game, 18 years later. Right? So I've been waiting for this game. It
came out 4 days ago.
They announced the game for the Switch 1, but they failed and they restarted. They said this isn't any good. And, Nintendo's philosophy that they always have, which is a delayed game is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever. All right. So they follow that policy. They said, no, we're canceling that shit, but we're going to start over.
Yep.
And they eventually, here it is. They finally got it out. A new Metroid Prime game. Metroid Prime games, if somehow you don't know, it's basically the spirit of a Metroid game, but with a first-person camera. But if you're looking for a first-person shooter like a Doom or a Quake or even a Wolfenstein, it's not like that, right? The controls, even though the camera is first-person, is a lot more like a Zelda game, right? Where you push L to lock onto an enemy, and then you just sort of hammer the shot button, or you choose your weapon and you shoot missiles or whatever you need to do to kill that enemy. You don't really have to. You can just aim if you want to. There's free aiming with motion controls if you want to try to do that. I didn't even bother.
Well, there's aiming with the mouse, the Switch 2 mouse.
Yeah, you can. You can use the mouse if you want to. I haven't tried it, but it is an option. And I guess that would give you a little bit more of a real FPS experience if you did that. But I'm just doing it the Metroid Prime way, which is not very FPS-y at all. And it's basically a lot like the other Metroid Prime games. The biggest difference being that the other Metroid Prime games the maps, even though they're 3D, were a lot more like maps of normal Metroid games, a bunch of interconnected areas, right? Whereas in Metroid Prime 4, they've done the sort of, overworld kind of layout. It's actually not a very big overworld. It's like this big rectangular desert space. And at the edges of it, like in the corners, are like these entrances that take you to various, different areas. There's like a volcano area, an electric factory area, and a forest area, right? And they're all like completely separate from each other, basically. So it's sort of like a Zelda overworld with dungeon entrances on it. And it's not really that big, and it's really not that chock full of stuff. Like usually, like you think about like the overworld of like, Breath of the Wild or any of those is huge, and it's just chock full of stuff. Like every step of the way, there's something there. In Metroid Prime 4, not so much. It's a small area. There's not too much in it. It's mostly open desert. And you're riding this motorcycle to get across it really quickly, which controls a lot like F-Zero, so that's nice. And so it's really just sort of like this connecting space that lets them avoid. It basically feels like they wanted to have the motorcycle because it's cool and is something new and fresh, and then avoid the difficulty of interconnecting all these different levels during the development process and just making them all separately. And then, by having that desert, they never, way easier. It's like, hey, this team will make the ice level, right? You don't got to worry about what fire level's doing, right? Whereas if they're connected the way like Brainstar and Criteria are connected, it's like, wow, you can't be having two different teams on that. It's not going to work. But, it controls nicely. It plays nicely. There were some parts that were a little bit challenging, and the save spots were a little bit too far apart, and you die, and it's a little bit annoying to go back to the save spot. But most of the time, if you die at like a kind of a boss fight, there'll be like checkpoints. So you don't go back to the save spot. You're going back to like some checkpoint you didn't even know you hit, and like just sort of restarting that boss fight or something like that. So there's that. There was one part where there was there's these NPCs that are like part of the the humans who. The Space Federation, whatever that, I don't know what the organization.
Isn't it just the Federation? I don't actually remember.
Yeah, it was in other Metroid games. It's in Metroid Fusion and
the Galactic Federation has its own Wikipedia article.
Yeah, there's some Galactic Federation people.
Rinpo.
Yeah, there's some characters in the game, and they actually talk a lot, like dialogue and stuff, which is weird because usually Metroid's a quiet game. Samus doesn't say anything.
Of course not.
And, at one point I had to, it wasn't an escort mission because, like, the way you normally think of, it was more like, okay, you go to this room, the guy's there, right? You go to the next room, and after you beat up the bad guys, the guy moves to the next part, and you beat up the bad guys, and then the guy moves to the next part. And when you go in the elevator, you got to wait for the guy to get in the elevator, right? It's very sort of locked in what's going to happen. And there was a bug of some kind where like I got in the elevator and the guy wasn't moving. He just stood there. So it was effectively like a soft lock. I just couldn't do anything. So I had to go back to the save spot. And then it happened. It didn't happen on the same elevator. It happened again on a different elevator. So I turned the whole game off completely.
Yeah.
And I opened the whole game up again. And then thankfully on the third try, I made it through all the elevators. And the guy didn't soft lock me again. But that was annoying. But yeah, it's a Metroid game. It's a Metroid Prime. That's basically what I expected, is like another Metroid Prime game. And I think Nintendo, to their credit, they're always trying to do something fresh and new and different. They feel like we shouldn't be just making more of the same.
Yep.
And that is how you can find, a lot of the big success they've had is because they keep changing and then they stumble upon to something big and new, right?
Yep.
It's like Breath of the Wild was new compared to the other Zeldas, and that worked really well, right? As opposed to they could have just made another Ocarina of Time, and they didn't.
Go all the way back to the beginning. Mario 1, Zelda 1, and then Mario 2 and Zelda 2, at least in the American audience, completely different games.
Well, but so I think though to some extent people do have an appetite for more of the same, right? It's like if you have a favorite food, fried chicken or something, right? It's like, can you eat fried chicken every freaking day? No. Do you need to change the flavor sometimes? Yeah. Sometimes you want a chicken that's not fried or something that's not even a chicken. Yeah. But you're going to eat regular old fried chicken more than one time. It's good.
Yep. Well,
It's really good.
It's 2001. Rim is playing Counter-Strike. It's 2011. Rim is playing Counter-Strike. It is 2021.
Right.
Rim is playing Counter-Strike.
Especially when the last time you served up this particular fried chicken was 18 years ago. You could just serve it up again. You don't have to do anything different. Just make another one of those, right? Just make another Super Metroid. It's like you don't have to always.
Now, what is fascinating, I ended up seeing some reviews of this game, and usually I don't read game reviews of game. Like, I review games. I don't read other people's reviews
of the game.
But I ended up seeing some reviews of this because they weirdly penetrated into like my work sphere, and like the reviews were pretty negative. So I actually was like, wait, what? And these are reviews like from a financial perspective, like showing up in my work context. So I actually looked at them, and it was interesting because they basically all said, yeah, the game's great, but like it didn't do anything new. It didn't reinvent the genre. Nintendo missed on this one. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, I could see people, especially like gaming magazines and whatnot. I could see them giving this like a 7 out of 10 or even a 3 out of 5.
But I wouldn't consider a 7 out of 10 a miss.
No, but it's
a 7 out of 10 hit the target. It wasn't a bullseye, but it hit the target.
It's like, this is not a game that's got to like, change your life or be an all-time S-tier remembered game that you go back to over and over again, right? But it's like, hey, it's a Metroid game. If you like a Metroid game, it's a good one. And you've been missing that. You can go for it. And it's refreshing, and then it's going to be over in some number of hours. I don't know how many yet. I can't tell right now how big the game is because I have to collect so many MacGuffins. And then eventually I assume that takes me to the next part. And I don't know if there is a next part or if there's just going to be the end, because I'm now one MacGuffin away from all the MacGuffins. So if there isn't like another game after that, if there's just sort of like maybe an ending phase or two, the games actually would be pretty short, and that would be a little.
Well, the alternative is that turns into Square Boss situation, Upside Down Castle.
I think it would be ideal length would be if like there was a second set of MacGuffins. You think of the way Ocarina of Time is like get 3, now get 7, right? And then you're good. Get 3 gemmies, then get 7 Triforce pieces, then the boss.
Zelda 3 did that very well.
Right. Metroid Prime 4 so far is like get 5 of these, and I've gotten 4. So once I get the 5th one, if it's like, okay, final boss now, I'd be like, oh man, I wish I could have gone to get 4 more things. And then the final boss, that would have been the right length. So that would be a little disappointing if it's short. I don't know yet because I haven't beaten it. But, if you're not a Metroid Prime person, I probably wouldn't go and pay all that freaking money just for this game. But if you are, it's like, yeah, you waited 18 years. It's good enough, right? You can eat.
So Dispatch, we were looking for, we play couch games where I'll pick a game where either we play it co-op on the couch, or one of us plays, the other one watches, and then maybe the other one plays. Like we swap. Like Disco Elysium was a good couch game. I played it on the PC, and then we sat down on the couch and I watched Emily play it. And Slay the Princess, we did something similar. Baldur's Gate, I don't count. Baldur's Gate, we both sat at our computers playing directly because that's a different kind of experience. So Dispatch kept coming up in a lot of conversations I was having. It was coming up in a lot of different Discords I hang out in. It just
it wasn't coming up for me. So
it came up
I didn't see it.
everywhere I was, especially in like the narrative game like type spaces. So what it is on a super high level, it's not a super long game. It's pretty straightforward. The plot is you're a superhero. But you're like a private superhero. Like you're basically Iron Man if Iron Man wasn't rich. And there's corporate.
So you're Iron Man for hire? People pay you?
No, you're Iron Man. Just try using your endowment to try to do as much good as you can with your like self-made power suit that you inherited from your dad, who inherited it from his dad.
Okay, but you don't have a lot of money. You just have a power suit.
Yeah, you have a power suit and you're running on a shoestring budget.
You have some other job and you're just superheroing for fun.
You're superheroing with what's left of your endowment, basically.
Okay.
Meanwhile, there are corporate superheroes, but they're for profit. So you're like the last not-for-profit superhero. And you're doing a great job, and everybody loves you. And then you get fucked, and your suit gets destroyed. And you end up getting a job being a dispatcher for-profit superheroes at a superhero company. Dispatcher, like police dispatcher.
Like 911.
Yeah. So you're the dispatcher now.
There's a supervillain attacking. I will send Superman. Don't worry.
Yep.
There's a bank robber. Okay, I will send Spider-Man.
But this company is like, look, if you work for us, like our superheroes actually are not the best. We're not going to let them know you're like the pilot of that famous suit. You're just a guy, and you're going to be the dispatcher for basically are kind of shitty superheroes, and we're hoping that by being their dispatcher, you will impart wisdom upon them and make them better. And better is ill-defined because that's part of the plot of what they mean by better. And in return, on the down low, we're going to fund rebuilding your super suit so you can eventually go back to being like the not-for-profit good guy.
Are they lying? They're lying about that.
I mean, I don't know. I've only played through 2 days of the game so far.
I mean, they're obviously lying.
Obviously, there is a lot going on. Immediately, I'm like, well, that guy is definitely evil. She's definitely hiding something. Like, you can see where this is going. But the way the game really works is it's basically a mix of cutscenes and an actual dispatching game and a visual novel. And they're all kind of rolled together in a format I have never seen executed this way before. So the game basically takes the form of, imagine a Netflix series. So like, episode 1 is the first episode of the show. It starts in media res with a cutscene. And the cutscene has QuickTime events. And the QuickTime events actually feel pretty good. Like, you can turn them off and the game will just play out. But
an important accessibility feature.
Yes. However, it is clearly intended for you to do the QuickTime events. And they don't seem to have broadly a huge impact on how the scene plays out, but they have a minor impact. And some of them you feel like you did the thing. Some of them, like, color how the scene goes. They're not super important yet, but I think they're an interesting immersive element. But then you will make decisions, visual novel type decisions.
There you go.
Those decisions have a timer. Fucking make your decision. Like, if you don't decide what to say when someone's talking to you quickly enough, then the game proceeds as though you just fucking stood there and didn't say anything. Like, the game's really forcing you, like, just go, pop, make a decision, stick with it. Like, you are under the gun the entire time.
That makes sense. That makes sense with the role of a dispatcher, right? Is like, it does. If you're taking 911 calls, the world doesn't pause while you think about what to tell the person.
Yep. But like, I'll give you an example in the visual novel parts of these scenes. the superhero lady who is an actual superhero with for real superpowers and has been kind of flirting with you, but also is clearly hiding something, and there's a lot going on. Her boyfriend shows up, who is clearly much older than her and is clearly like a Superman level superhero with big dangerous powers. He is going to fly her to like Japan to have dinner, and he invites you to come along. And she is behind him, and she is clearly mouthing at you, no, 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 do not. That would be bad. She really does not want this to happen. And you've got like 3 seconds to say, yeah, sure, I'll come along, or make them an excuse to not come. And like it's that kind of game. But the third game element is you're just sitting there at a computer being the dispatcher, and you've got your crew of misfit superheroes, and you see a call comes up, and it's like, grandma called and the cat's stuck in a tree. Who do I send? But then another one pops up, and it's like, yeah, some dangerous supervillain is like robbing a bank right now, and he's got hostages, and he's threatening to kill them. And then a third one pops up, and it's like, an asteroid's coming? Question mark. And they're all over the place in terms of tone and style, and you just gotta roll with it, and it often doesn't go well. But you navigate all this kind of puff, 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 go, go, go. And what I like about it is that a lot of times a game like this, as a player, you're really trying to optimize the perfect experiments. You want like the good run. Like you want everything to work out right. This game is fast and messy, and you're gonna make mistakes. Then that's kind of the point. And it makes it feel more like a real drama. And then the episode ends and you get credits. But then during the credits of the episode, instead you get these little like, hey, in this scene, you did the same thing that most other people did when the shitty guy who has fire powers was hassling you in the bar. Yeah, a bunch of you threw the alcohol at him because that's really funny. And it like shows you like the decisions you made compared to the decisions of everyone else who has played the game so far in like the after credits. And then you get the preview for the next episode, and it ends. And then you can play the next episode whenever you want, like you're watching a Netflix show.
How many episodes are there?
9. It's not long.
And how long does each one take?
Not about 45 minutes, I'd say, like an episode of a TV show.
So it's basically mostly a visual novel, except for the quick time events.
Yep.
But the timing factor is unique, right? In that you can't think about it too long.
Yep.
And I guess there's replay value because you could just play it a second time and choose the exact different options, or however many plays it takes to see all of them, or watch them on YouTube.
So it's clear some decisions matter just in the moment and don't really matter that much in the long run, but the game does something really good. When a decision matters a lot, it pops up a tiny thing that just tells you, yo,
it lets you know.
This one mattered.
I kind of, I think that's a normal video game thing to do, so I'm not going to criticize it.
Yep.
But personally, I would like it where, you can sort of tell in the same way that in a Scooby-Doo scene, you can tell like when something's on the cell versus on the background that it's going to move or interact in the scene. It's like when you play a video game, when you're talking to characters in an RPG or something, you can sort of tell which ones are like
guys
plot
like,
movers.
Welcome to Canary. You're not like, I bet he's the final boss.
Right. It's like you can tell what things you're going to do are going to move the whole game forward and which ones are just sort of like side quest or whatever. It's just like a vibe you can get. And I kind of wish that like, this would have been an opportunity to throw people off. Like,
so the form it takes is good. It doesn't tell while you're playing. Like suddenly it'll be like someone asks you a question. All right, you got to decide. You got 3 options. Like, what do you say? After you make a decision, if it's one of those things, the thing that pops up, the only info it gives you in 2 days so far, I don't know if there's other prompts I might get, is name of character will remember this. But one of them said, everyone will remember this.
All right, that's just telling
because
you.
I walked out of someone asked me a shitty question in a press conference about my dad, and I just walked out. I just said, fuck it. I just left the press conference.
It's probably just like those choices probably just change like some flag, right? Whereas others just change the scene you're in.
Yep.
But it's like, it would be great if like, a I think the biggest example of a video game doing this the way I'm suggesting is obviously Chrono Trigger, where it's like you're just doing nonsense in the carnival and that ends up mattering later, right? Where you couldn't possibly have thought that was going to matter at the trial.
Yeah.
Right? Do stuff like that where it's like you're just in it's a small scene, it's a side character. It doesn't seem like some major decision, and it's just one of many, and you do it, and then later it's like, oh no, that was a huge deal. I have to go choose a different path there.
Yep.
Right?
You stole the bagel in episode 1, and here we are in episode 26.
Exactly. Bagel Man is here.
Kind of what happened in the second Spider-Verse movie.
I love it, yeah.
But the other thing about it, the animation's great. The writing's actually really funny. Like, it feels like you watched a pretty good superhero show. It is super adult. It is not for kids at all. Rated R. There's a dick in the first scene.
Oh boy.
In a funny way. It's not a porn game, but there is a dick for superhero reasons, and yeah, it's that kind of game. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and we're gonna finish it pretty soon. As soon as we have time to play the next.
I mean, with only 9
days.
episodes, you only got to play 9 times unless you want to replay it for some reason.
But I guess
I wonder if there's like a canonical like correct best true ending, or if it's just like I would prefer a bunch of equal endings, none of which are clearly the good one or the bad one.
So Undertale and Deltarune, they have a this is the best ending if you're a good person, and this is the best ending if you're a piece of shit. But Baldur's Gate has a bunch of Baldur's Gate 3. All the endings are kind of equal. There isn't a good or bad or preferred ending. There's just a bunch of equal weight endings.
I mean, there might be different plot at the ending, but it's like a game like Baldur's Gate. It's like the final boss is the final boss no matter what you do. Right?
That is true, but everything else is very
But it's just like
different.
it's like the cut scene is different. It's like saying Street Fighter. It's like, everyone beats up M. Bison at the end, and it's just like, well, you were Guile, you see this cutscene, and you're Chun-Li, so you see this cutscene.
It's a little more than that in Baldur's Gate, actually. There's a whole denouement where you get to find out all the stuff that happened into the world based on everything you did along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game's real fun, and I actually highly recommend it. The real-time, pressured nature of the decision-making.
That is a unique item.
I was very suspicious of it, and after about 10 minutes of playing, I'm all in on it.
The only thing I would question thinking about it further, right, is like it wouldn't be a problem for me because I read really fast. I wonder if people would have a problem choosing.
The accessibility options basically can turn off almost every gameplay element of this game and turn it into a TV show. But if you can play it without changing any of the settings, I recommend playing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing that makes this game unique. Otherwise, you might as well watch it on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Is that I've never seen, I don't think any game give you time pressure on a dialogue choice in that way.
It also gives you some in media res stuff, which is also kind of the tutorial. Like in the first scene, you see this guard. Like, it kind of just starts in media res. There's this guard. He's like looking at a console. And then you get a quick time event. Drag the mouse to the right. So I'm like, okay. I drag the mouse to the right, which proceeds to see my arm come in from off screen and fucking kill this guy from behind. I'm like, oh, okay. That's what this game is.
What if you don't do that?
I don't know, because I did that. I've only played the game once. I don't know what happens if I don't do that.
Does that have a timer? Can you
it times out. I just happened to have did it. We're playing through no matter what happens.
There's got to be a secret ending if you time out on the first thing.
We're no matter what happens, our first playthrough, we're just rolling with it. If bad shit goes down, bad shit goes down.
Of course, that's what I would do too.
I got my ass kicked in a fight, and I don't know if there was an alternative ending or not.
Yeah, it's not a game with like a game over scenario, right?
No.
It always goes forward. So you might as well just take whatever you get and accept it, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason to go back and redo or anything like that.
I like when games afford me that possibility. So yeah, I'm enjoying the hell
out
of this.
Metroid Prime, where it's like I die, I have to try again.
Yeah. That was one of our early GeekNights panels. Losing should be fun. We talked about that exact concept. Mario dying ends progress versus Mario dying is an interesting thing that happens along the way.